Hello everybody and welcome back to another AOR Season 16 highlights video here for round number 9, the Austrian Grand Prix, and this is a track I've always got on pretty well around, and it was the same this season, and throughout practice my pace actually seemed to be pretty decent, not only in race pace but also in qualifying pace, and I'd say it's the best it's been all season in terms of pure pace, and I was coming into this very confident of what I could do, and I was actually, my main target for this one was to just get back on the podium because it's been quite a while. It's been since round 3 at China, so the target was a podium, but I felt like my pace was good enough to fight for the win here. And also another thing was you could qualify on the softer compound around here compared to some of the other tracks this season where you've had to qualify on the harder compound, and I prefer qualifying on the softer compound, which is the ultra softs around here. And also my tyre wear was good, and looking after the tyre temperatures and everything was looking really good, so coming into this round I was feeling good. And you can see right now in qualifying I'm only in P10, and that's with a 103.7, so we definitely need to improve on that. At least I was aiming for a top 5 on the grid, and that was definitely what we're going to try and achieve here, but we're only about a tenth and a half up on our previous best time. I don't remember what times I was doing when I practiced qualifying before this race, but right now I think we're not far off that, and it's been a fairly decent lap. It's not going to be good enough for pole, but let's see what we can do towards the line here. And across the line we set at 103.4, and that is good enough for P6 on the grid, only 2 tenths off Flores, who's on pole. So we're in a good position to fight for a good result here around Austria. So 5 red lights and it's lights out, and away we go here for round number 9 of AOR Season 16, and we get a better start than Carl Alex, already heading towards turn number 1. We go up the inside and we've already gained 1 position, so we've already gone through past Alex, and we've got Michael in front, then Nardi, then Lucas, and then Flores. And we've got to try and beat Michael here today, because I think the gap to him in the championship before this one was about 26 points, so it's quite big. But you can see he's brake very early into that corner, and we had to avoid him there, making a little bit of contact on the exit as well. And that's backed me up, and that's allowed Alex to go right round the outside into P4. Now we're side by side with AOR Flying Finn heading towards turn number 3, so we've got to be careful of him. We've got to make sure that we stay in front of him, because it's vital for our race that we stay in front, and that's what we've done. We've managed to stay in front of him. So still in P6, so despite the fact we got a better launch than Alex, we've lost the position back to him once again. But you can see in front Michael is going for a move on Alex, going side by side those two, and they're losing time by doing this, but we want to try and maybe get something out of this battle. We've got Flying Finn trying to look down the inside into the penultimate corner, which is not really an overtaking place, and Michael and Alex in front make a little bit of contact. That's pushed Alex wide, and we go down the inside of Alex into the final corner, making a little bit of contact on the entry as well. But we go through into P5, and you can see all kinds of battles are going on behind between Alex, Flying Finn, and I think Williams Alex is involved in that as well. So we've got through into P5, so we're in the top 5. This is where we want to be, and I knew my race pace was very strong. And you can see now moving on to lap 4, Michael's already cleared Nardi, and Nardi seems to be already struggling with his tyres a little bit. His race pace doesn't seem to be as good as his qualifying pace right now, as he defends the inside line into turn number 1 on us, and we're going to try and go for a cutback here on the exit of turn 1. And we got DRS, we got ERS and overtake as well. He's got DRS as well, so we're not really gaining anything on him here in the straight, but we're going to look to the inside of turn 2 on the brakes. So we go down the inside, going first gear, we make a little bit of an aggressive move on him, we force him a bit wide, but we've gone through into P4 and we get the move done. So that's 2 positions made up on where we started. Nardi went so wide it's actually allowed Flying Finn through as well, and his pace seems to be pretty good. But you can see now, moving on to lap 7, the top 2 actually aren't too far in front of myself and Michael, and we're already starting to close on Michael as well. We seem to have a little bit more pace than Michael, and we're also in a good position with our ERS as well. Look at that, 100% there around the final corner here on lap 7. Flying Finn's sticking with us as well at this stage, so I think at this stage it's right to try and clear Michael, because our pace seems to be better than his, and if we can get past his, then we should be able to catch the 2 cars in front, hopefully, seeing as we have a lot of ERS to burn as well. So in the slipstream, in the DRS, and he doesn't even defend it heading towards turn number 2, so we go down the inside and we get through into a podium already here on lap 8. So it's been a great start to the race, and my confidence that I had through practice before this race is definitely for good reason, because it seems like our pace is good enough right now to fight for a win, and that's what I'm going to try and do. And I was hoping maybe Lucas and Flores in front are going to start to battle, and that's exactly what's happening in front. Lucas goes for a move on Flores, and I know Flores isn't the greatest on his tyre temps, so I assume right now he's probably starting to struggle a little bit. with tyre wear and with tyre temperatures as well with his rear tyres. So yeah, I was expecting to catch him pretty quickly at this stage, and it's a pretty easy one stop as well. But you can see Flores is trying to fight Epic Gamer with the best of his ability right now. He always seems to fight positions as hard as he possibly can, even if it costs him quite a bit of time. But you also would have seen there out of turn number 2 that I lost the rear, so we're now starting to struggle a little bit on our tyres as well, but not as much as these guys around us. And already we've caught up to the back of Flores. And another thing around here in Austria is we've got to be careful of getting warnings for exceeding track limits. But you can see Flores lags a little bit, he defends the inside line, but we're going to go for it anyway. Down the inside of turn number 1, almost making contact with him, and we get a little bit of oversteer there on the exit, still going side by side. We actually forced him a little bit wide as well. There's still a little bit of lag involved as well, but we've got the inside line towards turn number 2, so this should be a pretty easy move up the inside into position 2 here on lap 11. So we've gone from P6 to P2 here, so it's been a great first stint, and now we're in a fantastic position. I believe both Red Bulls of Tim Palm and Deagle both qualified outside the top 10 and have both started on the harder compounds, so they're going to be very quick towards the end of the race, and they're also going to extend their first stint out. But you can see there, Lucas has come to the pits pretty early. Well, it's not actually too early, but we're going to continue a lap extra because I was pretty good on my tyres, and my tyres were still in a pretty good situation that I thought maybe the overcut might work, and if not, then we'd still be in a good situation towards the end of the race with our fresher tyres compared to the people around us. So we're going to continue an extra lap, and right now we're pushing as hard as we can. But into the pits here at the end of lap 12, and yeah, so we've just got to be careful, try not to speed in the pit lane here, which is pretty easy to do. But yeah, we need a good stop, we don't need to be held in the pits, and I don't think we are. And in some ways that's why I chose to go an extra lap as well, because sometimes if you pit at the point where more people are coming into the pits, then obviously you might, well, you're at risk of the chance of being held in the pits. And William Zalix is also into the pits. He's quite a bit further back. I don't know if he got involved in any contact or anything, but you can see already Lucas and Michael in fact have both gone through. Michael pitted even earlier than Lucas. I think he pitted on lap 10 or lap 9 even, so he's got quite a bit of an undercut on us. But compared to both of these two, we're in a better situation with our tyres, so we can literally push from here to the end without having to worry about any sort of tyre wear. And yeah, we can just focus on putting the laps in and trying to catch the two in front, which should be pretty easy to do considering the fact they're already starting to battle like mad. And at this stage I was thinking, if I can clear these two, then we should be in a good position to win this race, because we don't want to be held by these two having that many battles, because the two Red Bulls are also not out of the fight for the win, considering right now they're just putting the laps in, putting the consistent laps in, and you can see them on the minimap in position 1 and 2. And yeah, their pace was good, and they're going to be even quicker at the end on the softer compound. They're going to have fresh tyres, and they're also going to have fresh super soft tyres as well compared to our more worn out soft tyres, so they're going to be quick towards the end of the race. But you can see, due to these battles in front, I've already caught up with these two, and also Flores is right on the back of us as well. So yeah, these two are fighting like absolute mad. They're not working together, they're fighting right now like it's the fight for the win on the final lap. They're not actually working together, they're losing quite a bit of time as well. That's enabled both me and Flores to catch up, as I said, and they're still going at it here on lap 18. And right now I just wanted to try and clear these two as quickly as possible. They make a little bit of contact there out of turn number 2, and we've got the DRS open, we've got ERS in overtake as well. We haven't really got the slipstream there off Epic Gamer. We maybe looked to the inside going for, well, I thought about making some kind of almighty dive bomb there to try and take the lead, but then it's not worth the risk, so we backed out of it, keeping our provisional P3 out of the cars that had pitted. And the two of them are still going side by side, and honestly these battles were just going on lap after lap, and they were taking a lot of risks here, these two. And at some stages I thought, I've just got to be careful of not getting taken out here. And you can see Epic Gamers going for a move into the penultimate corner, which is not really an overtaking place, and you can just see how much time we're losing behind these two, and they're both costing each other time. You can see Lucas runs a little bit wide, and I think at this stage I still didn't have a single warning, so we're definitely in a fantastic position. And I know how easy it is to extend track limits around this circuit, so to not have a single warning, that definitely means we're in a good position with penalties right now. But you can see we've got a bit of a run here on Lucas towards turn number 2, but he's got a run on Michael now. He looks to the inside, and Michael once again brakes early. We had to avoid Michael there, and we almost hit the back of Epic Gamer as well. And on the exit we get pretty poor traction. Michael's able to stay in front of us, and in fact Michael's once again got a bit of a run on Epic Gamer, who now defends the inside line, and Floris has now got a bit of a run on us as well, and he looks to the outside here of turn number 3, and we don't want Floris to get in front of us because I knew at this stage my pace was better than his. So still going side by side, we need to stay in front. We make a little bit of contact on the entry, and we make even more contact, and I almost spun there in fact, and I'm not really sure what Floris was doing. It doesn't look like a massive hit on the screen there, but when you're driving you feel it a lot, and I was quite lucky not to spin there, and I'm not really sure what Floris was doing because I left him plenty of room up the inside, but we still made a little bit of contact, but we both got away with it luckily enough. So that cost us a little bit of time, and I was more worried about my tyre temperatures at that stage, because even if you have the slightest moment like that, you can still affect your tyre temperatures, which yeah, we obviously don't want to do on these tyres. But yeah, we lost a little bit of time to the 2 cars in front, but still they are going at it. We currently got Michael in front of Lucas, but the 2 Red Bulls have both pitted, and yeah, we're in P3 now. And yeah, the 2 Red Bulls, they're on the super soft tyres, they're on fresher tyres, they're on softer tyres, so they're going to be very quick. And the battles we've had right now have enabled Deagle and Timpan to be right in the fight for the win. Deagle is in currently P5, and he's not far off this battle. As we look to the inside there of Lucas, kind of going for a 50-50 move, which wasn't really on into turn number 1. That's cost us a little bit of time and affected our run out of turn number 1 as well. But I was more thinking about Deagle at this stage, and the fact his pace is going to be so much better than ours. So yeah, I was pretty worried about that. But you can see once again out of turn number 1, maybe looking for a run on Epic Gamer towards turn number 2, but he's more close to Michael than we are to him. And you can see he actually goes for a dive bomb up the inside of Michael into turn 2, and he goes for it and gets through just about on Michael, pushes him a little bit wide, and that's now opened the opportunity for us to go through on Michael as well. Lucas gives us the slipstream towards turn number 3, and that's enabled us to go through on the championship leader Michael into position 2 here at the Austrian Grand Prix, and we are now where we want to be. We want to be ideally in the lead, but it's so hard to pull away on this game, so I was pretty happy to sit here in P2 for the time being. And you can see now here towards the end of lap 26, around the final corner, we're not quite close enough to get a run on Lucas this time round. Still just sitting behind him, saving our ERS for the time being, but Deagle Killer actually disconnected from the session, so that's very unlucky for him. His pace was amazing and he probably would have won the race, but he's actually disconnected, so I'm not sure why. But we're looking to the outside of Lucas here, round into turn number 2, and he pushes us wide, and that was pretty aggressive from him there. That kind of resembled the Hamilton-Rosberg crash from 2016, even though there wasn't any damage involved, but he did pretty aggressively push us wide at turn 2. So I knew at this stage, got to try something different maybe, or if not, I'll try the same move, but just try it in a different way, because I don't want to have any more contact, and we know we've got to get through at the stage because our pace seems to be a little bit better than his, and also Michael's slowly dropping off the back of us 2 as well. And yeah, we're yet to get a penalty at this stage, but you can see I've accidentally got a warning there at turn 1, which has actually given us a better run on Lucas here towards turn number 2, so in some ways that benefited us, but we've got to be careful with penalties. So we look to the outside once again of turn 2, we sort of push him over, pinch him towards the apex, still a bit of contact but not as much as last time, and we're able to hang it around the outside, and we don't get DRS this time. In fact, Lucas gets DRS, so it's going to be difficult for us to make the move here into turn 3, so going side by side, but Lucas manages to maintain the lead pretty well, and he was defending very well at this stage, so fair play to him. It was really good racing, and you can see we've got another warning, so 2 in a lap, so we've got to be very careful. But now we are right on the back of Lucas here, so we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to go down the inside here into turn number 1, and you can see here I brake very early because I didn't want him to get the cut back here on the exit. We force him a little bit wide. It's all fair, it's all clean, and the racecraft so far in this race has been incredible as we actually make a little bit of contact there on the exit. I think that was purely desync more than anything, but Michael's now got a run on the pair of us, and we're going 3 wide into turn number 2 here, and we're just about going to maintain the lead, or are we? Lucas goes round the outside and he gets through back into P1, but we're going to look to the outside here of turn 3, and maybe can we get this move done? So we're going round the outside of turn 3. It's going to be a tough move to make it work, but we're hanging around the outside. Michael's backed off back into P3, but we're going side by side, and we got the right of way here. We got the inside line, which is where we want to be, and for the first time in this race we're going to lead the Austrian Grand Prix, and finally we are in the position we want to be. But you can see Deagle Killer may have disconnected from the session, but his teammate Tim Palm on the super soft tyres is in P3 and he's right in the hunt, and now we're in the lead as well. It's also very difficult to pull away with the slipstream being quite powerful, and Lucas and Tim Palm as well, they all have DRS, so we've got to try everything to try and keep this lead at this stage. So we're running a little bit of a defensive line towards turn number 1, and you can see we've cut turn 1 and that's our 3rd warning, and now we've got a 3-second time penalty, so that's our only penalty right now. But yeah, we were doing so well in the first part of the race with penalties, and now we've actually got one, which is not what we want. But I knew people around me probably had some penalties as well, and we're having to defend the inside line there on Lucas towards, well, through turn 2, and now we've once again got to be defensive towards turn number 3. He's got the DRS, and you can see I actually don't cover the inside line, and unexpectedly Lucas goes down the inside of turn 3, but we're going to hang it around the outside like we did on the lap before, and going side by side at the same point again. And are we going to hold the lead this time? And I think we just about are. We're going to force him a little bit wide there, and we get the lead back. And now Tim Palm actually looks, if you look in the mirrors, you can see Tim Palm's going for a move on Lucas, and now this is our chance to pull away. I knew at this stage we just got to try and extend that gap, because once you get the cars behind out of DRS zone, then you're pretty much in a fantastic position. I know Tim Palm's got a massive advantage on grip right now with his tyres, but still we've got to try and get away from these guys whilst we can. I was hoping Lucas might be able to hold up Tim Palm for us, but yeah, we just got to wait and see how that goes. But Tim Palm's going to be incredibly quick with the tyres he has, and you can see still we're just about unable to get the gap up because of the slipstream being quite powerful. And you can see the 2 cars behind, they're probably going to battle into turn 2. I think Tim Palm's looking down the inside of Lucas there, and he is, and they're going side by side there on the exit, and you can see looking behind now, still side by side. And yeah, I was desperate to win this race, but Tim Palm didn't actually have any penalties either, so us with a 3-second time penalty and Tim Palm without one, yeah, we're probably not going to be able to win this race. But Epic Game actually hit the back of us into turn 3 there on that lap, and he ran a bit wide as well. He braked way too late, and that's allowed Tim Palm to go through into P2, and now with his superior grip as well, he's pretty much right on the back of us. But us two are slowly pulling away from the cars behind as well. But I knew at this stage we're not going to be able to fight Tim Palm too hard, and Tim Palm's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, and he's going to go round the outside of us towards turn number 2, so he's already ahead before the braking zone, but he runs the slightest bit wide. We make a little bit of contact there on the exit, but Tim Palm gets the move done and he goes into the lead. But now we've got DRS, so can we fight him back towards turn number 3? But already now I'm starting to save my ERS, because I knew at this stage he's got the grip advantage, so if we can stick with him, then we can maybe still fight for this win. And at this stage I didn't actually know that he had no time penalties, so I was still going to give it absolutely everything to fight for the win. You can see on lap 35 I've managed to stick with him, surprisingly, considering the fact he's on super soft tyres, which are fresher and they're also quicker. So stick with him was quite a bit of a surprise, but that also shows how powerful the DRS and the slipstream is, and you literally, it's so difficult to pull away. But we've got good pace nonetheless, and we're able to stick with him here, heading towards the final lap of this Austrian Grand Prix. Can we do anything to beat Tim Palm here today? Flores has actually made his way up to P3. I believe he did some almighty dive bomb on like 3 cars and actually damaged Alex's wing, and yeah, another bit of poor driving from Flores, but you kind of get used to it after a while. But Flores is in P3, but he did get a penalty, I think, and I also think he had time penalties. But you can see here, starting the final lap of the Austrian Grand Prix, Tim Palm runs a little bit wide there around turn number 1, and we've got a great run. We've got ERS to use here towards turn 2, so going around the outside here for the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix on the final lap. We pinch him towards the apex like we did earlier, but he goes for it back up the inside. He brakes incredibly late, and we go for a cutback line here on the exit of turn 2. We've got more ERS to use. For some reason I don't have the DRS and he doesn't have the DRS either, but we're going to the outside line here for turn 3, and there's nothing really we can do. He defends well, and I can't really see ourselves getting back through here. There's nowhere else really where we can overtake in the remainder of the lap. But I'm going to save a bit of ERS here in this middle sector to maybe try something into the penultimate corner, but we're going to have to wait and see how that goes. It's tough to follow around here, but we're going to use all our ERS here that we have remaining, and we're going to gain on him as much as we can. We've got to be a little bit careful on fuel here towards the end as well, but there's nothing really we can do. We gained on him a little bit, but he doesn't have any time penalties and we do, so we're going to have to settle for P2 here. It's been an incredible race nonetheless, and we take P2 here at the Austrian Grand Prix. We're finally back on the podium, which is where we want to be. And what a race that was. Honestly, that was one of the best races I've ever been a part of. all the guys I raced against, they all raced very fairly and very cleanly as well, so it was, despite it being very stressful, it was a very fun race nonetheless, and I did enjoy that. And that's also put us up to P2 in the championship, with Michael being absent at Silverstone with 23 points behind him. We're in P2 in the championship, so we're back in the fight here in AOR Season 16. So what a race that was. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely did enjoy racing it, and yeah, a good result in the end. Finally back on the podium, and that's where we want to be. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. As I said, leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you for round 10, which is the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. So I'll see you then. Goodbye.